Thanks for tuning into Luminary Sounds. It's your musical artist, LLedo. K-Way Don't Play and Francois the Great. They will be putting out new album reviews this week. So coronavirus has not put us on hiatus. We're still here for you. So in the meantime, we've been checking out the latest album by The Weeknd called After Hours. And it's a little scary. Probably because this album, to me, is the most important lyrically. Weeknd is dealing with some issues. And I don't mean to say that lightly. I think the album is great sonically, but let's talk about it. Number one, the track Alone Again. It starts off with me realizing why the cover work looks like he's getting his ass whipped and he's still smiling inside. And let me tell you why. Because he starts off with, take my disguise, I'm living someone else's life, suppressing who I was inside. Later he says, baby, remind me of who I am and break this little cold heart of mine. And I think he's doing that because if you look at the transition of Weeknd and where he started to where he is now, he is a pop star. I mean, this guy is beloved by all of his fans. And to see him at this state in his career being so lyrical as far as what he's dealing with, his relationships, his heavy drug use, it's a little alarming. But at least, with these artists now, he's not fabricating who he is. He's telling you exactly what he's dealing with. I would say, upon listening to the album, it's a lot different than any of his work. Now, I would say it's categorized in two halves. The first half of the music would be his relationships, his moods, the things that he's dealing with inside, his anxiety, his depression. You're gonna see a lot of those issues within this album. If you look at the track list, take a listen to the track list. Alone Again, Scared to Love, Escape from LA, Heartless, Faith, Blinding Light, and Until I Bleed Out. Listen to the track list. What stands out to you? An artist that is screaming the type of things that he's dealing with right now. Do not be blinded by how great the album sounds. Really pay attention to what The Weeknd is saying. And there's going to be a lot of reviews out there talking about we love The Weeknd, he's great. Look, The Weeknd is great. He's going to always provide that type of sound that's different. That's what we're looking for. But you have to keep in mind of the artist and what he's dealing with as an everyday person, right? A lot of the people are saying that, some of the songs remind him, or he's talking about his ex, Bella, if that's her name, Bella Hadid. And I think that was her voice that was laughing, that little snippet on that track. I'm not sure if it was Snow Child, but in Snow Child, I would say it's the closest song that allows fans into his world. It's a very depressive song within the first half of the record. And then the second half of the record, it's more about the love that he lost, his relationships. And I can't be too particular of who he's talking about because it doesn't give great detail into that. But let's start off with the song Hardest to Love. I absolutely love the lyrics of the song. It's probably, I would say, the top two. But the only thing I didn't like about it was the up-tempo sound of the beat. Like, they basically took a house song and added them to this beautifully written song. And I didn't understand why they did that, to be honest with you. But still, I want you to take a listen to it because everybody has their own opinions about it. But the song, let's see, Escape from LA. Check this out. He says the liquor has him going crazy for women. He's safe to say he wants out of LA. This is a place that will end me. Now, why is he saying Los Angeles will end him? Why is he using those potent words and he's screaming in detail of what he's dealing with? What's going on in Los Angeles? I mean, everyone knows he's from Canada, right? And he's part of that Canadian crew, Drake, as well as, some of the other artists that are emerging. But what's going on with his life, his culture, dealing with Los Angeles? And I mean, you got to really pay attention to that. The number 7, the track Heartless, all this money, this pain got me heartless. Never being wedded playing for the heartless. Damn, I messed that up. In this pain got me heartless. Never being, why I keep saying that wrong? Say it again. So track number 7, Heartless. All this money, this pain got me heartless. Never be a wedding plan for me, the heartless. I mean, for the guy to sit there and say that There's never going to be wedding plans in his future. He doesn't see anybody in his life for the long term of his future. Where's that coming from? Like, what is the Weeknd dealing with that has him feeling this way? I mean, really pay attention to the track list. Really pay attention to the lyrics that he's saying. If anything, this album is going to be a prelude to other things to come. I've never heard him being such a depressed mode for this album. And I think we should take that seriously. You know, there's a lot of artists right now that are dealing with drug use, that are dealing with, a lot of, alcoholism. Like, what are we doing to help these artists? We can't just be in love with the sound and what they're talking about. Let's pay attention to the lyrics. Like, for example, when he says faith, when I heard Faith, track number 8, I was a little bit afraid because he says, cutting up the cocaine and swimming in his veins. He's losing his religion every day. If he OD'd, he wants you to OD right beside him while he's smiling. It brings me back to the artwork of the album. Why is a R&B artist smiling with blood, his nose broken? Like, what's the meaning of that? And I think that's what he's talking about. The Weeknd is basically, I guess he's smiling through the pain, what he's going through right now. And the track number, like I said, number 8, Faith, it's really raw. I mean, he's talking about a lot of different issues, losing his religion, his faith in God, and, what is he dealing with that has him in such a depressed mode? We can't take lightly when people are dealing with depression. He says in the album multiple times, this pain that I have, this money and this pain. Like, everybody wants money, but they don't understand the pain that comes with the success and being an artist like this. So let's pay attention to what he's really dealing with and a lot of other artists that are dealing with the same type of issues. Overall, I mean, I have to be honest with you. I think the album was really good. If you're looking for an artist to tell you exactly how they're feeling and what's going on in their life, I mean, this is the record for you. I mean, this is not the type of record where you're going to be dancing in the club. It's not. I mean, maybe the up-tempo beats will trick you into that, but it's not really that type of artist, the type of record. This artist did a great job, and he has Metro Boomin as a producer, a few others I didn't write down in my notes, but they did a great job of kind of, shying away of what he's dealing with tricking you with the beats and the melodies of the stuff. People, you can hear a song and be like, wow, this sounds amazing. I love the sound of his voice, but what is the artist talking about? What is he saying? If I'm going to rate this album from the truthfulness from the Weeknd, I have to give it a 4.5. I mean, simply because I had never heard the Weeknd be so vulnerable in the record. The topics that he's talking about, if this was people that are dealing with depression, if they're listening to this record, they understand exactly what this artist is talking about. So, with no further ado, I really want you guys to check it out. Not because he's a big pop star and he just got a brand new record and is popular and people are talking about it. Listen to what he's talking about. Listen to the issues that he's having as an artist. Listen to the things that we search for, that we want to find, that he already has, that he can kind of do away with. It's really not important to him. So with that being said, The Weeknd, I say this is a great album because of lyrically what he's talking about and letting you into his world for the very first time. I know we're not talking about Starboy, which was the last record, but if you listen to the track Starboy, he says, this is what you turn me into. Like, I'm a star boy now because of the pressures that you put on me. I'm no longer the artist that I was when, in the hills. I'm not that same type of artist anymore. I'm the artist now that you created. You created this type of artist. I'm going to talk about drug references. I'm going to talk about overdosing. I'm going to talk about whatever it takes, right? And I really, truly don't feel like that's who The Weeknd is as an artist. I believe The Weeknd, when he started this industry and when he came into it, he was in a completely different mindset. He's always had a dark side to his music, but overall, it's never been this dark. So, let's pay attention to The Weeknd, send our thoughts and prayers to him, because it's not just a record of check out my latest work. It's check out what's going on in my life. So with that being said, Luminary Sounds, music reviews, LLedo. We have more reviews coming from you guys, but check it out. We out. Peace.